Howdy, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Debauchery Circus campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM, and joining me around the virtual table today are Brie, Brandie, John, Jr., and Steven. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hola. Howdy.
Okay. Now, before we begin, I do have a couple of announcements to get through. First off, I'm happy to announce that we have some new content airing every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central called Random Game Night, where me and a bunch of the cast get together and play various party games. We also have 2 one-shots coming up this holiday season, the first of which will be the Halloween one-shot hosted by Alyssa Egan of the Fab Five. We also have a Christmas one-shot coming up in December. You can follow us on Twitter at random_Rhapsody to keep up to date on everything we do and our production schedule as a whole. Okay. That should do it for announcements, as we have coughing in the background. So join us as we dive into the world of Loroupa and continue on with the adventures of the Debauchery Circus. And we're back. So when we last left off, the Debauchery Circus had returned to the capital city of Northimia to report their success in Greenridge to the king. With their mission now complete, the king granted the circus their freedom once again, and he also acknowledged young Edmund Coltrast as the true heir to his father's lands and title. With their quest now complete, the circus set out into Northimia to celebrate their success. Fantine, Shokan, and Willow got some fancy new threads, while Cameron and Blazner sought out a specialized tattooist to give the rabbit folk wizard a magical tattoo. And also get his back shaved. The party then rejoined once again in the Harlequin's Giant for an evening of drinking and merriment. The next morning, the squad discovered that Fantine had slipped away in the night, leaving only her favorite ring behind to mark her passage. The remaining party members then met with Lord Edmund for lunch, where they learned more about the state of his lands and began to strategize about how they could retake the keep from the evil Lord Veritude and return the young man to his home. These talks were overheard by a newcomer by the name of Ichabod Sykes, who had apparently been seeking the group on account of their familiarity with fighting undead. And so, Debauchery Circus, you are now all sitting there at the table in the common room of the Harlequin's Giant, the inn and tavern that you and your group, in one form or another, have been frequenting here in Northimia. Damn good French fries. Edmund has told you a little about what the King's Scout had learned about the situation in the town of Coltrast. The town itself is now surrounded by a tall wooden wall made from the local timber of the region, which now lies open and stripped of that surrounding forest. The Scout reported strange creatures patrolling the lower village, things as massive as an ogre, but twisted and strange. Very grotesque. And there are also zombies guarding the walls, along with mercenary soldiers. The townspeople in the lower area are pretty downtrodden right now. All seem to keep their heads down and to themselves. The scout didn't venture too much into the lower city, because it was quite oppressive down there. Now, the keep itself, as well as the upper district to the town, is behind another wall, but this one's stone, which was no doubt where Lord Veritude and his Star Knights resided. There are about a dozen or so mansions in the upper district, as well as a large courtyard in front of the keep, used for various state functions. Edmund knows the layout of the keep very well, but he did admit that he rarely ventured out into the upper district, so he does not know much about, know much about the lower village, other than the fact that it has 2 inns and a blacksmith that his father frequented. Now, based on what the circus had found in the dungeon near Dusk Hollow, Edmund suspects that the undead the scout saw could very well have been the creatures created by Veritude's necromancers. While ultimately when the group leaves is entirely up to you, Edmund does stress that time is of the essence. Veritude knows that Edmund is alive at least, and will soon learn that the king supports him. The less time he has to prepare and fortify his position, the better. That being said, he also does acknowledge that you'll need a few days to prepare for the journey at the very least, which I should mention will take the better part of a week to travel on horseback. Now, you can spend some time. You can spend some time while you all eat lunch, discussing your options and strategizing for the upcoming mission. If anyone has any questions they want to ask Edmund, you can do that before you all separate for the day. But now's probably a good time to do so. So,
I've got a question, Edmund. Do we know if this scout snuck in of his own accord, or did he enter through the front gate?
Oh, well, Ichabod. From what I understand, the scout entered through the front gate, presenting his identification from the king to the gate master. He was allowed to walk through, and did present his information to Lord Veritude as he was ordered.
I see. That's good news for my plan, then.
What plan do you have in mind,
Well,
Ichabod?
I've got a first draft of a plan that y'all might find favorable, if you'll just give me the time of day.
It's about 9:50.
I appreciate that. Alright, so here's my idea. Using the king's funding, I think that we should acquire some wagons, tents, ropes, balls, etc. Anything needed to have a real circus, including lots of paper and ink. We can also hire mercenaries with that money, which I assume that Edmund said in his recap about the orcs, right? Talked about how the orcs were a part of it. They were mercenaries.
Oh yeah, the orcs. Yeah, that is true. Shokan would also know about this. Is that the fact that when they rescued Edmund from the orcs, they made a deal with the orcs that the orcs would help them get revenge.
Yeah.
Did they tell us that?
Yeah, they did. I remember that they had given us something, some way to contact them.
The entire, So the entire. Oh, go ahead.
If Shokan or if Edmund had.
Well, Edmund did give a recap of everything that had happened. When he sat down, he ran through a recap of everything.
He did, and he did talk about the orcs. I don't think that's too far out of the realm of possibility, because
I think it would be really cool to bring them back as our mercenaries. So we could hire some mercenaries. That can be those orcs if they've made a deal with you already. They're already motivated to help. So here's the rest of the plan. Upon arriving, we know that there's that clearing. There's the woods, and then there's that first wooden wall. I say that we stop in the woods before the clearing. to do some reconnaissance, so we can see if there's a patrol and what that patrol looks like, see who's at the gate. I was also going to say we should see if they let anybody in or out to know if they're trying to keep up a guise of being a normal town or if they've gone full bad. But if they let the scout in with papers, then that's good news. Then we present ourselves as this circus sanctioned by the king to raise morale in these dark times. It's always dark times. You can just use that. People love it. Maybe also imply to them that a entertained populace is a sated populace, not likely to uprise. Every tyrant fears an uprising. All the while, sneak in, hopefully under that guise, and then we can use circus flyers or illusory script or our performances themselves to communicate some kind of an evacuation plan to the citizens, and then we, from there, figure out how to get past the stone wall. And as we are fighting with Baritude and his Star Knights, or as we are about to approach them, we send some message to the orc mercenaries to attack the wall from the outside. Then we have them from the inside, the outside on two fronts, and the orcs can help with the evacuation and just cause confusion. That's my overarching idea.
My first question. You said that you sent a message for the populace. How do you intend to ensure that none of the population receiving this message simply scurries along toward Veritude itself or onto some
Well,
board?
unfortunately, we can't account for everything. Part of the plan. But I'm open to suggestions. There's always going to be a risk.
Edmund speaks up at this and he says, "If the people know that I am indeed alive and trying to fight for them, perhaps that will help them rally to us. Perhaps your illusionary script calling out to them could include the fact that I'm trying to retake the town for them."
Fair enough.
Ichabod just kind of nods at this. It's a working plan, but I think it gives us a start, and obviously at every step we'd have to stop and evaluate a smaller plan, such as how to get through that stone wall. But I think until we go there and we know the details, there's not going to be much more we can hash out at this time.
Stone wall should not. I can escape this fires.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
I'd say we've got a good thing going.
and if it is a extremely thick, then I also got that spell, so we can work at it.
Teamwork is a powerful thing.
Thank you. Work at it.
So, if I'm understanding your idea, Ichabod, to go to the town in the guise of a circus and use that pretext to search the town and get in touch with the people and spread the word about what we're trying to do, and then
Exactly.
plan and then make it the overall plan, but be ready to change it as we need to based on the situation. Does that sound about right?
I think you hit the nail on the head, my young lord.
Most likely have to guys, but we certainly have, say, a select individual trust, feel correct presence. They might feel heartened, rouse the other rabble out.
Indeed. And you said that there were 2 inns, so I imagine we'll have a place that we can stay and make our script. Once we get inside, we might know better what we should write on it. And of course, organize the circus. We've got to put it on and make it seem like it's the real thing that's happening.
And there's also the Temple of the Five in town. I'm sure we can.
There's a temple of the 5 near the keep.
Indeed, there is.
And it's crawling with undead.
This is a lower. It is in the lower level of the town. Yes. Just
Ichabod looks physically pained. Well, I say we get on the road as soon as possible.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Thanks, Blood from a Stone. He's just let me know that Cameron's sounding a little low, so I turned up his volume all the way. Cameron, give me a mic check, would you please?
Check 1, 2.
That sound a little bit better?
Wreck yourself.
Okay. Anyway. So.
I will admit I'm a little biased towards this plan because stealth is not my strong suit. But should we need it?
And I am available.
Well, actually, I have a few tricks of my own as far as that is concerned.
Well, that's good. Do we need to utilize stealth probably towards the later part of the mission? I could use your assistance.
I do have the ability to disguise myself through magic now, so that would definitely assist us in keeping me from being seen. Blood says he can hear Cameron better, so thanks. Appreciate
Then
that.
I sent you a message, Matt.
Okay. So anyway, you all spend your lunch kind of talking about your various options and that sort of thing, eating your meal. As the discussion's kind of coming back around towards the idea of putting on the circus and getting those things together, a question kind of comes to each of your minds. That question is, when you were a child, what did you want to be? Or think you wanted to be when you grew up? And since Cameron's the one who rolled it, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Oh, if any of y'all kind of remember the Keanu Reeves version of Constantine, I kind of see my childhood as sort of being what he dealt with, insofar as that I was seeing all these different possible futures where I could potentially become any number of different things, but really in the end there was only one choice for me, which is that I wanted to figure out a way to control all of these things that I was seeing so that it wasn't just, one crazy horror show after another, not being able to tell what was real and what wasn't real.
Okay. I dig it. Blazner, how about you?
He thought that he's gonna be your typical druid, although he didn't actually want to be, but he assumed that he was just gonna end up protecting the forest and stuff.
Yeah, sounds about right. Willow, how about you?
I wanted to be a normal person.
Oh,
Aw. Aw, that made my heart hurt a little bit.
I just
like
want my
everybody
kids to be alive.
You wanted to be a real boy.
Wow. Okay, Shokan, how about you?
I feel like Shokan would have known all along that she was just gonna travel and be a wanderer until she gets her drive to go back home.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair. Okay, I like it. Well, with thoughts of what you all wanted to be... Oh, Ichabod, sorry, I didn't hit you. Ichabod, go ahead.
when I was a child, I knew that I was going to be a paladin just like my father.
Yeah, probably.
There was no other option for me.
Ichabod was a child. All they knew is they wanted to be touched by the Lord.
I was working on the farm, and my daddy said, "You're going to be a paladin, and you're going to like it." And I was like, "Yes, sir."
And well, they should. Okay, I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so anyway, after the talks kind of taper out, and the idea kind of what you all are planning to do kind of is at least starting to come together. You all do agree to meet back here tomorrow to start making plans for your next adventure. Edmund tells you that he is going to go speak with the king and get like an official something that says that they're an official troop. Because that's what it sounded like you guys were asking for.
Yeah, if Edmund doesn't mind, I'd like to accompany him.
To the palace?
Well, just to walk him there.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, you can take him to the palace. And I know that everyone does have some various tasks they're wanting to do throughout the city. Brandie's actually got to step away because she's got to go pick up Marissa, but she'll be back in a few minutes. But for the rest of you, Debauchery Circus, Ichabod, I know you said you want to take Edmund up to the palace, so you can do that. But Blazenier, Cameron, Willow, and what are the rest of you wanting to do?
Blazenier,
Yes.
I was going to take a look at the study of my master, has gone missing as I've finally been questioned by the king. I was wondering if you would be interested in coming with me to provide a second unique view.
I suppose I don't really have much else I'm planning on doing, so might as well.
Excellent.
I love that Cameron and Blazenier have a special relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man,
You rubbed-
and bros.
He rubs oil on your back.
Puts the lotion on his
Tony
skin.
Stark
I'll
and
never forget.
Bruce Banner.
I like
Not
it.
so much the superpowers, more just the science bros.
Yeah, Science Bros. I like it. I have a character who has a Science Bro, too. His name's Cord. Anyway, Willow, what are you wanting to do?
Knowing the battle ahead, I just want to check my gear, stay loose, and basically prepare myself mentally for what's coming ahead.
Okay, absolutely.
Well, miss, if you are just going to be sitting by yourself, why don't you accompany me?
No. She said she was gonna stay loose. She's going after some treasure type O.
It's an invitation.
Gee. I guess I'll go. I'll basically, because I was sitting Indian style the entire time, I'll basically get myself up and go.
Ichabod's like, she just looks so much like a lady. So I feel like I gotta be polite.
So Willow, sitting crisscross applesauce, jumps up to her feet once again and accompanies Ichabod and Edmund out towards the palace.
Oh, just to be clear, Matt,
Yes.
I'm keeping an eye on myself while I'm around Willow.
You're keeping an eye on yourself. Okay.
So that way I can be ready to dodge out of the way if she tries to slap me on the back again.
Fair
You
enough.
still haven't told us, so I mean,
Fair enough.
fair love and back smacks?
I mean, if you had a legitimate reason to do it, sure.
It's friendly. It's
He is a dynamic
trait.
character in Friend
Slap
Blood.
people.
He definitely is.
It's like my hand finds the weakness and just goes for it.
I like it. Okay. So Edmund, Willow, and Ichabod are heading to the palace. Blazenier and Cameron are heading towards the Institute Arcanum. That's it. And Shokan is heading off on her own to do some monk stuff. She just tells you that she'll catch you later.
Shokan is an enigma.
She is. So anyway, Ichabod, Willow, what is it you're wanting to do with Edmund as you guys head back to the palace? Anything specific?
I just want to say to Edmund, Edmund, I've got a vested interest in taking a peek at some of these forms that the king has. Just for my knowledge, not that I intend to be forging things, but in case we might need something more convincing for the future. And I know that you will be going in there and getting these forms, so I would just wanted to have a peek at them.
I mean, I'm sure the king would be happy to provide whatever you'd like to see. What specifically are you looking for? Like,
That's a good question. I don't know. It's just an idea I'm cooking up right now.
well, are you wanting me to ask the king for like an official license for a circus, or
Yeah, I would say a license for a circus, any kind of travel papers that we might need.
Okay. Yes, I can certainly do that. And as you're all been walking for it takes a good hour to go from where you guys were to the palace itself. He was fiddling around with something that he had in his hands the entire time. And eventually, as you all kind of get close to the palace, he turns and he hands you up a ring that he was holding, that was playing with in his hands the entire time. And he says,
What's this?
I feel as though I am hiring you for your expertise as a warrior and as a trained soldier, and I feel I must, in the very least, pay for your services as well. I've been with the rest of these for quite some time, and you being the newcomer, I feel at least I should make sure that we do have an understanding of each other. And he hands you this ring. He says, "This was a friend of mine's at one point who left. It's a magical ring. It should keep you warm when you need it."
Ichabod stands up a little straighter, and he says, "Well, I thank you, my young lord, and I just want to tell you," he takes his hat off. I think it's a very honorable thing you're doing. Seems like you've got some big shoes to fill, and I know how that feels.
Edmund kind of nods, and my father was a wise and just ruler, and I just hope that I can at least let him rest in peace, knowing that I've retaken what was stolen from us.
I put my hat back on and just give him a knowing nod. Fatherly nod.
And Edmund goes and heads back into the palace. He doesn't have as hard of a time as the rest of you all getting through. He just stops, walks right up to the guard around the queue that's always there, speaks to him a little bit, shows him something, and he just walks on through. He turns and gives you both a wave before heading back into the palace.
Wait, a fatherly nod. Want to be Edmund's daddy?
No, I'm giving him a knowing. I just can't help but exude fatherly energy.
He wants to be the Funkle.
But I do miss my son, and Edmund does remind me of my son, so... I just kind of watch him walk away, and then I turn around, and I go, "Well, miss, you got anything special you're looking to do today that you might need an escort for?"
Willow, you there?
I'm sorry, you cut out.
I was asking if you wanted an escort. My only plans for the day was to see if I could attend me a church service. And I'd be honored to have you come with me.
I'll motion my hand, lead the way.
Alright, I lead the way. I don't know where this church... To be honest, I'm not from here, so if you've got a better idea of perhaps where a Church of the Five may be located, or else we might ask some of the friendly townspeople.
Is Edmund still by us?
No, he's back in. He left.
He left.
Okay.
It's like
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was.
It's like you went to
before
the
he
club
left.
and he got to skip the line, and you have to wait to see if they'll even let you in.
No, I don't want to go in there. So yeah, I guess I'll just ask somebody where the Church of the Five is.
It's not difficult to find out the Church of the Five. It really isn't. There's actually 5 temples in Northimia itself, as well as a grand cathedral, which is dedicated to all 5. But the smaller ones peppered throughout the city, there's one for each of the 5 gods as well. So you could find a temple of the Father, or you could go specifically to the overall cathedral. It's up to you.
Wow, they gotta. I think I want to sightsee and see this big cathedral.
Oh yeah, you definitely can. It's not far from the palace, actually, and it just looking around, you can spot easily the big, ornate building that is the temple to the Church of the Five. Brie, you're from St. Louis. Have you ever been to the Basilica before?
I think I've seen it, but I haven't
Okay.
been inside.
Yeah, imagine that, and just all pure white marble, and that's what you got. It's
This is
big,
like-
it's beautiful, it's ornate. It's your
Small town guy from the one-room church sees a mega church for the first time.
basically, but that mega church is made out of marble. It's like the Basilica of St. Louis is the biggest Catholic cathedral in St. Louis. It's huge, and it's home to the archdiocese and everything. But it's gorgeous. I love the architecture of this building. If you ever have a chance to go take a look at it, you absolutely should. But I digress. The temple to the 5 gods is huge and ornate, and you absolutely can find it. And they typically run mass at noon and at sundown every day. Now, Ichabod, you would notice a few distinct differences from the little services back in your hometown. Back in your hometown, it's a lot more focused on the human population. A lot more about focusing on the Father and his relationship with mankind and that sort of thing. Whereas this temple, much more is open and free. And as you sit in the chapel of this temple, in one of the pews, watching the service, you look around and can very easily notice a huge assortment of races inside this room. Pretty much every material plane race that exists lives in Northimia. It's a huge, very open, specifically open community, and so every example is probably in this cathedral in one place or another. Some in small groups, others peppered around, intermingled, and that sort of thing. And at least half of the population is human. I should not make any... what's the word I'm looking for? Make it... dissuade any assumptions. Humans make up a huge population of Loroupa. At least 60% or more. Humans tend to breed fast and spread like weeds. And even in a fantasy setting, it's the primary race in the world. So, still, there's a good amount of humans here, but you can't help but notice they're right next to other people. Some of them seem to be sitting close as though intermarried. Others are just in friendship groups, chatting and talking amongst themselves.
I think Ichabod does spend a longer portion of a service looking around at the crowd than he usually would. And then I kind of fix my eyes back on the person with me, and I'm like, I remember that she too is not human, but looks very strikingly like one. And then I try to shift my focus to the service itself. Like, clear my mind. I need to pay attention. So yeah, is there anything I can gather from the service as inspiration?
Like, what do you mean?
Just like a lesson of sorts.
Be kind to every race.
I come to church. I come to church with my heart open, ready to learn.
The service, which is run by a human, a very old gentleman with long white hair and very dark brown eyes. He's leading a service in a very pointed message about seeking forth the evil in the hearts of man, recognizing it for what it is, and smiting it out bringing
That's
about
the message I can get
bringing about the love of the Father to all beings, and that sort of thing.
All right, I feel the fire in my heart,
You absolutely do.
and I'm ready to smite.
Now, while this is going on, Blazenir and Cameron, you are heading over to the Institute Arcanum, right? Correct?
Yes. That is correct, sir.
Okay, I'm going to move y'all to a different map. Now, I'm going to make it so that everyone can see, so just give me 1 second here.
Cameron, excellent adventure.
There, now everybody should be able to at least see through the eyes of the NPC there. Anyway. So, Blazenir and Cameron, you all head to the Institute Arcanum, the Twisting Spires, which is this huge basically like a clover-shaped spiral that twists as it grows up into the sky. It's huge. Cameron, you've been there many, many times throughout your life. You lived there for multiple years. And when you arrive at the outer gates to the Institute, you find, as usual, a pair of guards stationed there. Now, Cameron, you know these men to be spell shields. They're soldiers trained by the Institute in both combat and magic, who are also used as the Magisterium's own personal mercenary force. You can identify yourself to them as a member of the Institute once you approach, and you are allowed inside the grounds without issue. There are benefits to being a member, after all.
Yes.
Now, the Institute grounds are always a sight to behold. The estates surrounding the Twisting Spires are rolling fields of soft grass broken up by lavish gardens, spacious woods, and occasional marble amphitheaters and pavilions used to practice magic, or to hold outdoor classes in. Now, Cameron, you've spent a great deal of time here in the Institute. You studied as a student, you worked as a research assistant, and you no doubt spent many a happy year indulging your intellectual appetites as you research your chosen field of magic. Now, while crossing the Institute grounds, you head towards the Twisting Spire. You can no doubt point out to Blazenir the various points of interest there, those favorite places from your years of studying here, and so forth. Now, entering the Institute is not an easy feat for outsiders and non-members, but as a member, you're admitted without issue or anything. You can easily find Commander Lorient, the senior officer to the Institute Spell Shields. He's usually found around his office on the second floor, and when you arrive, he greets you courteously, if somewhat stiffly, but he welcomes you inside. Now, I've been instructed to give you access to... And he begins flipping through some pages in front of him for a minute. And he seems to be taking a bit of time to do so. Here it is. Yeah, Delmirov. You've been given access to him. Now... We did question you at his initial disappearance.
Yes.
But I should ask once again, have you had any communication with your master since his disappearance?
None that I am aware of.
And would you tell us if you would?
Yes. If I felt that there was any chance that it would assist in, saving him from whatever situation he might be in and returning him to the Institute, I most certainly. I only have his interests at heart.
The man makes a note on a piece of paper and then looks up at Blazenir. And you are?
Blazenir. Good to meet you. I'm helping him out with the investigation.
Yes.
He makes another note on the same piece of paper. Makes a few more, and then stands up from behind his desk. Very well. You know the way.
Yep.
And together you all head to a lower level of the institute. Now, Cameron, you've been through here many, many times. You know exactly how to get there. The passageway takes you through to one level, and Blazneer, as you're following this path, it's very easy to get lost. Like, you're trying to pick along what passageways you go and what turns you make, but as you go, it doesn't make sense. It's almost as if they were leading you down and then up and then around again, and none of the angles make sense to you. It's odd. But eventually, the three of you do arrive without incident to one particular hallway that, Cameron, you do recognize very quickly. The hallway leads to quite a few doors, but the two on your left that you recognize, one is to your master's office here, and the other is to the laboratory. The guard captain unlocks both doors, steps back and says, "I'll wait here with you. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask. I've been instructed to give you full cooperation in this search."
Excellent.
And he stands aside and kind of gives you a look of, "I do have other things to do, though, so let's make this quick."
Oh. Yeah, I figured. Alright, well, I'm gonna start with the office.
Okay. As you open the doors to your master's office, you find a room in complete disarray. Books and papers are on the floor, chairs are overturned, the bookshelves are tossed, and half of them are on the floor. The drawers to the desk are pulled open and emptied. If Delmirov could see the state of his office right now, the old dragonborn would probably have a fit. You do know that in the door in the back, over here, leads to a small room that Delmirov had used for a bedchamber. He lived and worked down here, and his entire life was focused in basically these few small rooms.
I'll look over
Welcome
at
back.
the state of the room and kind of look a little sad because how callously everything was thrown about. I think first what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with trying to put the bookshelves back proper.
Okay.
Kind of put the bookshelves back up and then start putting books back on them. Maybe flip a little bit through each one just to make sure that there's nothing, no notes or anything tucked in any of them.
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead and make an investigation check as you're working through all of the books and whatnot.
Sure. And I can tell Blazneer what I'm doing, but that way once he can.
Yeah, he can help you and give you advantage on the roll.
23.
Okay. So you're looking through all the papers and all the books, scanning through most of the books. And a lot of the books you've been through before in your years working with your master. Most of them are books on magical theory, some are on history or alchemy, and a lot of there's quite a few books on history as well. Or did I say that already?
Yes.
Sorry. But the one thing that is very absent that you notice as you're going through everything, you do not see his spell book anywhere. You would recognize it upon sight. You had seen it many times out on his desk or on his work table in the lab. but that one thing is definitely not amongst anything. There are papers, some tucked away in books. A lot of things are used as bookmarks that you recognize as receipts or supply lists or letters from home, things of that nature, which you've seen before through these. He was the kind of dragonborn that liked to stick things in books and forget about them. But nothing that really stands out to you as out of place. You do see one thing that is out of place. A small as you're digging through all of the books and all of the bookshelves and putting everything back, once you get everything back onto the shelves, you notice that underneath the bookshelf to the far northern side of the room, there is a small figurine on the floor, pushed back and kind of under some debris and paper. You pull it out, and it's a small clay figurine of a chest.
Okay. Gonna examine it, I guess.
Make a history check.
Sure. Yikes, only a 12.
You don't recognize it at all. You've never seen this item in your master's study before. It was not on a shelf that you can recall.
Place near, does this design mean anything to you?
It's a chest. Should I roll history? I don't think it's good, but
Not really. The reason he was able to roll a history check is because he was intimately familiar with this room.
I thought that was the case.
Okay. I guess I will set that on his desk in a spot where it is easy to access, and then start going about putting stuff back in his desk where it's supposed to go.
Okay. And you can... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's kind of, like, it's definitely about me investigating the room, but it's also kind of about making myself feel better and, like, you know, the whole idea of an organized space leads to an organized mind kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I dig it. The guard captain's just been watching you this entire time, leaning up against the door frame. Occasionally you see him pull out a small pen knife and kind of pick at his fingers. But even as he's doing that, with your passive perception, you can tell his eyes are on you the entire time. And watching the both of you. Now, you do start picking up all of the papers and everything throughout the desk. Go ahead and make another investigation check for me.
Sure.
You can do it at advantage since Blazner's helping you.
Awesome. 23 again.
23 again. Okay. Going through all of the papers and things like that, a lot of it you recognize. Some of it is research notes, things you've read before, things of that nature. You do find a half-written letter to a sister that's you vaguely remember as living in the kingdom of Hyrulean, but you don't know a whole lot about her other than the fact that he has one. The letter itself doesn't have a whole lot of interesting content to it. It's mostly just about what's going on in the last month of his life, which wasn't a whole lot exciting. With your 23, the one thing you do notice, which the guard captain did not, you know that your master had a small hidden stash in one of his drawers where he kept his really good whiskey. You open up that bottom drawer and you're putting some papers in there, mostly just basic notes and supply lists, things of that nature. Nothing too exciting. But you do notice that hidden drawer was not discovered.
Okay.
And it is still closed.
See if I can sort of get place near.
Yes. What's up? You need me to just... I'll go distract.
Go ahead and make stealth checks for me real quick to see how sneaky you're being.
Well, good news.
Oh, that's not very.
I got a 23. Wait, why are you making a stealth check, Blaisnir?
I thought I would have.
No,
to as
you
well.
you both
Yeah.
were. You both had to because you're both secretly. You're trying to whisper to each other is what you're trying to do, and I was
Oh, okay.
determining how well you were whispering to another. That's all it was. It wasn't too complicated. With the 23, the guard captain did not notice that you were whispering to Blaisnir, but Blaisnir was definitely a little bit more louder than you wanted him to when he was replying, and the guard captain is currently looking in your direction. His head's up, and he's kind of curious what you're doing.
That's fair.
Seeing him, seeing he probably heard me. I'm gonna accidentally, knock some stuff off the desk and hurt myself.
Okay, roll for performance.
Will do. Natural 1.
So
Do
you
have inspiration or anything?
Good question. No.
Okay, so you go to swipe a bunch of stuff off the desk, slip on your robes as you do so, hit your funny bone as hard as you can on the side of the desk, and you just scream out in pain. Ow! God, that hurts! Your whole arm goes numb from hitting your funny bone, and the guard captain is just looking at you like, what the fuck is this moron doing? But it didn't draw enough of his attention, Cameron. You can tell the captain is still staring at you.
Sir, do you have any healing magic? I think I broke my arm. Oh God. Please.
Yeah, the guard.
I need a cleric. Please.
Yeah, with that bad performance, he ain't buying it at all. He's just looking at you. His arms are crossed, and he just looks at you and says, "You'll be fine."
He hurt himself while trying to pretend to hurt
Hurting
himself.
himself.
Yep.
Do I really need to turn into a chicken and do this the hard way? Like
You
this
know,
is
when my parents first raised me, the first word they taught me other than my name Blaisnir was lawsuit.
This is a hazard.
Now, I'm gonna save the drawer until he's distracted and keep looking around.
I can distract him like I turn into a cat.
Okay, you poof down into a cat. And the man is just shaking his head and looking. He looks back at you, Cameron, and he says, "Are we gonna continue this all day long?"
It depends. I'm not entirely certain. I just, my friend is not from the city, and sometimes enjoys putting his pussy on display for everyone to see.
I walk out into the hallway.
No, you don't. He is not letting you. If you walk towards him, he bends down and scoops you up.
Wow. It looks very petable.
This is a man who's the guard captain of the biggest magical institute in the world. He's been around wizards his entire life, and he's not stupid.
But he hasn't been around an idiot druid.
Does he like cats?
So, let's see.
Even if he's only half distracted.
So he's bending down and scooping up the cat with an 18 athletics. Blaisnir, go ahead and roll a d20 and add 3.
3. 6.
Yeah, so he very easily grabs you by the scruff of your neck and holds you up, and he's just kind of looking at you, Cameron, and he's like, is this supposed to be, I don't know, impressive, intimidating, distracting? What did you find over there?
We're practicing for an upcoming act, and as for what I found, do you recognize this chest at all?
With,
Show him
yeah,
the chest.
he'll reach out with his other hand and pick it up and look at it, look it over. I don't recognize it. And I do not have the ability to detect magic, do you?
Actually, let's check, because I don't remember if I have that spell. I have Identify. I do not have Detect Magic.
Okay.
I turn back into the blazing air and just, I have detect magic, actually. Neither of you have detect magic. It's actually quite hilarious.
So funny.
I could call somebody if none of you can.
No,
I just was asking.
I have detect magic. I just thought, 2 wizards in one room. Anyway, I cast detect magic.
I'm not a wizard. But he holds it out for you, and are you casting it ritually or are you casting it as a spell?
Ritual cast it.
Okay, so 11 minutes goes by while everyone sits there awkwardly staring at one another.
Actually, I had a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
How bright is the daylight spell?
How bright? Bright.
Let me explain. So, I have a drift globe,
Yep.
and the drift globe lets me use daylight once a day. So
Let me look.
theoretically, if I could pull out the globe without him noticing and place it in the room somewhere, like it's one of the items in the room, then I could just accidentally activate it while closing my eyes, and while he's distracted by holy shit bright light, then I open the secret drawer.
Well, the daylight spell, a 60-foot radius sphere of light spreads out from a point you choose, so I assume the drift globe. The sphere is bright light and sheds dim light for an additional 60 feet. So it's not like a flare.
Okay. I just didn't know if it would be bright enough upon coming out to distract him temporarily because of the fact that we're inside, and it would probably be at least a little bit darker than normal.
I mean, you can certainly try and see what happens.
Yes, the fabled GM speak for. You're an idiot if you do, but I'm gonna let you fall on your face.
But then you crit. Then what's he gonna say?
Yeah.
For a total of?
Exactly.
No, I'm not saying it like that. I'm honestly saying it. Will it create a big flash of light? I suppose coming on, it will come on and shed light. Will that be enough to distract him? I don't know. I would probably roll for it and see what happens.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to, my character would probably know if it was an incredibly stupid idea with intelligence. Okay, well, I'm gonna make a stealth check then to try and, pull it out without him noticing. Or I'm assuming it's a stealth check that you want, or possibly sleight of hand.
Yeah, that would be a sleight of hand if you're placing it somewhere without him noticing.
Okay. 13. Probably not gonna be good enough.
Ooh.
Ooh, baby.
Oh.
Took him long enough. Christ.
Not out of the woods yet.
Mr. DM, sir, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. I was saying, Anesthetic is currently saying, "Good luck, team," and I said, "Thank you, Anesthetic. We love you too."
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. So he was distracted, and he did not notice you set this drift globe down. So what are you doing with it?
I'm going to accidentally activate it. And since I know what's going to happen, you know, I can shield my eyes and open the drawer while he's thoroughly blinded.
Well, with Blazenier now in front of him, he's looking at Blazenier. Blazenier's looking at him. Suddenly, this bright light just suddenly turns on in a flash. Daylight, like I said, which I'm going to read it to one more time. The daylight spell creates a 60-foot radius sphere of light spreading out from point you choose, which is the drift globe. The sphere is bright light and sheds dim light, blah, blah, blah. If you choose, let's see. And so, yeah, it just creates this giant dome of light. So light just spreads out of it. How am I going to roll this? That's what I got to decide. I think...
just looking for the initial flash to...
Well, yeah, it's not really a flash. It's just suddenly brighter light.
Maybe he just rolls his perception check with disadvantage to
I
see you.
I think what I was going to do actually is an insight check. But maybe perception would be better. I mean, yeah, in all honesty, for him, they're the same. So it doesn't matter. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to allow it. I'm going to say it's going to be a perception check at disadvantage because the bright light and Blazenier working in tandem is kind of distracting him. So let's see how it comes out.
Versus stealth check?
Yeah, stealth check from you. All right, well, yeah, that's fine. Stealth check from you. You already rolled it.
Okay, 14. Or if you'd rather have sleight of hand, I can just...
Nope, I'm going to leave it as is. So 14 stealth for Cameron and a 8 for perception from him. So with the bright light going off all of a sudden, and Blazenier just standing right in front of him, Cameron, you have enough time to open up that little drawer underneath there. What you find, first off, is a very nice bottle of Scotch whiskey. It is half empty. But that, along with 2 crystal rocks glasses, are down in there. You also find, which is something you recognize, a wand. A wand that your master had used many, many times throughout his work. It is in there next to the glass of whiskey. The last thing that he has that's in there is a small sack that is cinched tied, closed with a small bit of twine.
I'm going to take the wand and the sack in
Okay.
the intervening moment that I have, and then when he actually regains his ability to see again, I'm going to go, oh, sorry about that. Sometimes things around it off. But I'll tell you one thing he definitely left behind, and I'm gonna pull out the bottle and the 2 glasses, pour a little bit in each one.
Yeah, and he's like kind of shaking his head a little bit and rubbing his eye, like, what the hell is that? And he's more looking at the drift globe right now. Where did that come from?
Oh, he leaves these things around. Brilliant man, but sometimes he gets out of his head. And
go ahead and make a deception check.
Yeah, about that.
Did you not see that when we walked in? It was right there.
I mean, I'll let you roll it with advantage because Blazenier's half-heartedly helping.
Thank God, because I have a -1.
How much is bail here?
So, I only rolled a 10, but on the other hand, I poured some very expensive whiskey into 2 glasses, and I'm offering one of them to him and taking a sip from the other so that he knows that it's not
Ooh.
poisoned.
Oh, you are just so fucking lucky right now.
Yes, I am.
With a 7 on his insight roll. The guard captain looks at you, looks at the glass of whiskey, looks back at you, and he doesn't want. It's like he's not quite about to buy it, but then he finally reaches out and takes that glass of whiskey.
I'll
Kinda-
even include the classic line of, I won't tell him if you don't.
And by the skin of his teeth, Cameron manages to talk his way out of it, and the guard captain does not notice the whole maneuver. Good job, Cameron.
Oh boy, that's, like I said, -1 on deception.
Mm-hmm. -1 on deception, indeed. Okay. Well, what else are you wanting to do while you're here?
Did I get any magical essence from that chest thing?
Oh, yeah, sorry, it was the 10 minutes. And yes, there is a faint magical essence within that chest. It's... What's the best way to describe it? It feels as though this thing is connected to something else, Blazenir. That's the best way I can describe it for you.
Look, oh, that's not my voice. So this chest thing seems like it's definitely magical, very faint, but it seems connected to something, as the god that speaks to me says. So, yeah, what do you? Just gonna set it down. It's magical.
Right.
So-
I will, I suppose, attempt research on it if I can discover.
Okay. Yeah, you do that.
We've pretty much covered the office, haven't we? As far as investigating goes. Matt, maybe talking.
Yes, sorry. Yes, you did finish searching through the office. You do have a room over here, his bedroom, and you have the laboratory as well.
Okay, we'll do a quick search of the bedroom, I guess, and then move on to the lab.
Well, I will say you find the bedroom in a similar state. Drawers pulled out and things thrown about. Go ahead and make an investigation check, Cameron. And Blazenir, the gods seem to be smiling on you right now, and you have a point of inspiration.
30-20.
Oh, thank you, gods.
So you kind of go searching through. Oh, by the way, Blazenir, I should also mention that when you cast the Detect Magic spell, that's 30 feet around you, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 30 feet.
Okay. One of the things that that Cameron had pulled out, you didn't see quite what it was, but it did ping magic. To your north west, there's a big ping of magic. To the north and to the northwest of you.
Cameron, there's something very magical in that room.
That would be the laboratory, wouldn't it?
It would.
Okay.
So, may have some clue in there. Bedroom first, obviously.
Okay, so the room, it's other than that. Let's see. What did you roll again? With a 20. With your 20.
Yeah.
With your 20, searching through the room and kind of going through everything, the one thing you do notice is that there's a lot less clothes in here than you would have expected. You do find a shirt here and there, a dressing gown, stockings, things of that nature, but there's not nearly enough for somebody like your master, who wore different clothes all the time, would have so little.
strange. Seems like some days the fool was so wrapped up in his work that I had to remind him to change his pants.
That's strange.
That's pretty much it for the bedchamber, though.
Okay, I'll mention that to the captain. Head into the laboratory.
Yeah, the captain was watching the entire time, and he does confirm that they had noted that as well. That most of his clothes were missing, as well as a cedar chest that was at one point in that room.
Do I
Now-
know what he normally would have kept in said cedar chest?
He actually used it mostly for blankets and things of that nature. It was just a storage chest, but it being gone, it wasn't like a huge, big chest. It was actually kind of light. Probably a good idea that possibly that's where his clothes went.
Seems fair enough.
Now, as you open the door to your master's laboratory, you're not really sure what you're going to find in there. But as you step into the room, you are somewhat shocked to discover that the space is pretty much in the exact state it had been the last time you were there. Bookshelves line the walls, filled with books on many magical research topics. The Dragonborn wizard was the obsessive type, especially when it came to the topic concerning the subject of time. If the erudite conclave had ever gotten their nose in this room, you know there'd definitely be hell to pay, because there's quite a lot of research here that's been strictly gathered by the Institute itself.
Gotcha.
In the center of the room is two work tables where your master worked on all of his research. Covered with various magical implements one might expect a wizard of deep research to contain. On one side of the table you can see a magic circle, still pulsing with light blue energy, holding aloft a strange-looking diamond-pointed device a couple of inches above the table. There's a thin layer of dust on every surface that you can see.
Do I recognize the diamond-pointed device?
You do not. It's you've never seen it before, and it does catch your attention. You walk over to it, and you see that the object is cylindrical and metallic, but it is of a type that you don't immediately recognize. As I said, it's cylindrical in the center, but the ends narrow to a point on either end, giving the thing a sort of double-ended dagger or scroll sort of feel to it. Well, if it weren't for the fact, that it's your hand can't quite reach around it. It's pretty freaking big. In the center of this object, you can see a small rectangular scratch in the metallic center. Not quite sure what to make of that. You don't see like a hinge or anything of that nature to make you believe it's a door. It's just a indented scratch along the center of the tube.
Okay.
And it is floating, like I said, about an inch above the table within this magical circle.
Register as magic to you placed near the scratch and also this particular diamond-shaped item over here.
Good question. Does it?
How long does the spell last?
Like, I think 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Okay, then yeah. You definitely can tell that there is a magical aura coming off of the device, the object. Also, to your left, under a large tarp, is an object that also radiates magical energy. It's very big. It's probably about as tall as you are, Blazenir.
Yes, to the diamond, and there's something under that tarp.
Is that an object that I would recognize? Or no?
That is an object that you do recognize. It is a device that your instructor and you had spent many years working on. It's a device that he's actually been working on his entire life. in theory, the device should be able to detect large sources of chronomatic energy and locate them across the globe. But he's never found a power source enough to make it work.
Yes, that was part of our research. A detection device. Etheric energy. Time energy. But had yet to find something. As for this, give me a moment.
Maybe he finally found a power source and he's about to go grab it.
Possibly, but then why all the theatrics and leaving me in the dark?
I'm
So,
not the time person, so maybe
I'm
there's
gonna
some
go
time.
over to the crystal line diamond thing and cast Identify on it.
Now, I will point out that Identify is a touch spell.
Yes.
So you're picking it up?
Yes, I am. Stupid thing to do,
Threatening.
but I'm gonna do it.
Maybe don't. Oh, you're okay.
Okay, so Cameron, you walk over to the table and reach your little rabbit hand out. And actually, you probably had to go get a stool to get up to the table to do this, but you are able to, and you reach out. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I probably had a stool for me specifically somewhere in the room.
Oh, I'm sure you do. And you reach out and try to grab the object. Go ahead. What am I gonna? Yeah, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw, please.
I have a +5. I have a good chance. Let's do this. 11. Yikes.
You reach your hand out, trying to
Boy.
grasp at the thing. What's up?
If I failed, I'm gonna use lucky footwork. Add a D4.
What's lucky footwork? Go ahead and pop that in the chat for me.
Sure. Racial, when I fail a dexterity saving throw, I can use my reaction to roll a D4 and add it to the result, potentially turning the failure into a success.
I like it. Go ahead and add your D4.
So 13, not too much better.
13. Yeah, you reach out and put your hand into the blue circle, and the moment you do, a blast of force energy just slams you back, pushing you off the stool and throwing you against the bookshelf behind you. You land in a clatter, and books just pour down on top of you, raining down on you. You take a total of 17 points of damage as your back is just smashed against this this bookshelf, and you fall to the ground as all of those books just come pouring down on top of you. You just yell out in pain.
I'm gonna walk out with my healing staff out and give him to its second level healing.
You hear from the pile of books feebly. So, are we studying hard or hardly studying?
Ha ha ha. Don't, that's not the one doesn't matter. Don't add to one, that healing.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't speak today.
Okay, so 14 points of healing. Cameron comes running over, holding out his staff, and just sends that healing energy. Blazner sends that healing energy into Cameron, and you just feel yourself start to rejuvenate once again. But ow, that hurt. And you just hear this belly laugh come from the guard captain.
Okay, we get the idea. Don't touch magic. You know, this is...
Can I make an Arcana check on the circle?
Yeah, go for it.
Jesus. 12.
Yeah, it's not one that you've ever seen before. You know, I will give you this. You do know a lot about the magic and the magic your master studied. That was a gravitational wave that smashed into you and knocked you back. You do know that. You can recognize that much, but getting back up and looking at the sigil, you've never seen one like it in your life. Like, you've never seen your master create something like that before.
Okay. Is that because it is particularly powerful? Or just something he never showed interest in? Or...
It's something that, as far, like, if he knew this while he knew you, he definitely kept it close to the vest. Because you've never seen him create an incantation like this before.
Obviously, I can't be 100% certain, but can I hazard a guess at whether something like that would be a one-off, or just as long as it's still there, it's...
With a 12, it's really hard to tell, unfortunately.
I'm gonna take a copper piece and just kind of toss it at the thing to see if it's still gonna do that.
Sure. Okay. You flick a copper piece at the thing. It strikes the barrier edge and comes zinging back at you. Make a dexterity saving throw, please.
I would have tried to, angle it a bit better so it doesn't fling at me. But...
Yeah, you tried to, and you dodge back just as the thing comes shooting past your shoulder. A 14 ain't gonna cut it, and you take 3 points of I'm going to say, call it slashing damage as this coin goes shooting through your shoulder blade.
Oh, that's powerful. Wow.
And actually, that's a great place to take a pause and go on break, because it is 4:30. So we're going to pick things up We're going to pick things up from here in about 10 minutes, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Howdy, everybody. We are back. And when we last left off, Blazner and Cameron were currently searching through his master's old office and laboratory, trying to find clues for where his master possibly left. So, Cameron and Blazner, as I said, you are still in the office to your master's little, what's the word I'm looking for? Laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
You both made some attempts at this odd device being currently supported by a magical sigil on the table, but no luck. So, what are y'all wanting to do?
So, just to be clear, casting Identify on the table won't identify the sigil, will it?
No, it will not.
Okay, that's what we figured. If that is the last thing that I see of consequence in this particular room, then what I'm going to do is pull out, like, some, my book and, do a quick, like, write down, what the sigil looks like, what the object looks like, draw a picture of both as best I can.
Okay. While you're doing that, go ahead and give me an insight check.
Sure. Ouch. I rolled a natural 1 for a total of 6.
Is this something I can jump in on, or?
Sure, go for it. I'll allow it.
Alright. 23.
Damn.
Cameron, Blazner, there, as you're looking at the sigil, kind of thinking about it a little bit, you do know that magic can be destroyed or dispelled. It takes a powerful magic user to do that, but it is possible to get rid of sigils.
Thought about that, but I counter spell and not dispel magic.
Yeah, I don't think druids even have a. Actually, no, we do. Wait a sec. Oh, I didn't prepare it. Cameron, so thought just popped into my mind. Apparently, we could dispel it if we had the capabilities. I don't have the capabilities at this moment, but I mean, I could sleep here for an hour or for 8 hours and dispel it when I wake up.
Yes, I hadn't exactly prepared anything in particular in the way of spells today.
No, I didn't either. I thought it was just gonna be a messing around day, honestly. So I prepared accordingly.
Do you have, well, actually, that would still take some time. Let's see how much exactly that would take. Because I don't remember.
I can stone shape something around it. That's probably not useful.
Oh, nah.
I can reduce it in size.
I was gonna say I could try and copy Dispel Magic in my book, but even that would take 6 hours. Okay, Matt, you said that scrolls were more expensive than learning spells from the Institute. How much would a scroll of Dispel Magic be?
1 second.
I might be able to absorb it when it damages me, but that doesn't really help us.
It's not too bad of a cost. 300 gold would be how much it costs.
Because I could learn the spell for my spell book, but that would take 6 hours, which I don't think we want to spend that.
I can speak with plants and or animals.
And how would that help the situation?
That's a
With
very
the
good
dead-
question.
The
Because
dead
the
desk.
desk used to be a plant.
Keyword is
Oh.
used to be.
I can polymorph him and then talk to him as an animal.
The guard captain just looking at you, the both of you, really irritated.
So, what about... So obviously we could dispel the sigil, but what about attempting to harm the desk in order to, like, harm the sigil? Or the table, whatever it is.
Like cutting the,
Yes.
removing a line from the sigil.
Yes.
I think that could be done. I don't know how this kind of
Would
magic
that-
works.
Would that be a thing?
The moment you suggest that, the guard captain's like, you were thinking about attacking and destroying the desk.
But more the sigil on the desk. The desk is
It's
just
a-
in the way.
It's a bad idea.
There's a reason why we haven't tried to dispel it or do it. We haven't been able to cast a high enough level of spell to get rid of it.
Fair. Right.
And
Place
destroying a sigil that we don't know much of could level this tower.
That's a powerful sigil.
Blazenir, do you have
Yes.
300 gold pieces?
I do. Do you not have 300 gold pieces?
No, I had to learn some things that our new friend wanted me to learn for his upcoming plan.
You just let him tell you what's supposed to.
Oh,
He
hey.
just joined.
I'm being misrepresented. I sent you money for that. I gave you money.
Yeah, sure. I can buy a
If
spell magic.
you wouldn't mind. Well, I was just going to say that what we could do is I can spend time tomorrow copying it into my book, and then we can try and see if it would work on the sigil.
I have a deck that makes me make illusionary things. I don't know how to help either.
So I
Yeah,
will.
it's not magic.
I will make the necessary arrangements to learn that spell tomorrow, and for now, I think we can probably leave and try and find our fellows.
So you
That-
do need me to buy the scroll for you, though, right?
No, you're.
No?
I need the money, but it's gonna be so I can put Dispel Magic in my spellbook.
Oh, I see. So you can write them.
Yeah, I figured
sure.
since we're gonna be here for a couple of days anyway, that I could probably just take the 6 hours tomorrow and learn the spell. And that's a lot better than spending the same amount of money for a scroll and just having it go away after we use it once.
Yeah, no, yeah, because you can copy spells into your book there, can't you?
Oh yeah, actually, I gave you the price to copy it into your scroll or into your spell book. So 300 is the price to do that. So it actually would have been another 150 on top of that for the scroll. My bad.
Then yes, I'm gonna set up whatever appointment I need to learn Dispel Magic tomorrow, and then unless Blazenier has anything else, we're gonna leave this
Yes,
scene for now.
because they said they weren't able to cast it powerful enough to even spell it. So, would you be able to cast it? No insult to you, of course, but
I'm not
you know,
certain, but I would
there's a
definitely
lot
try.
okay. I mean,
Dispel Magic automatically ends something if it's 3rd level or lower. If it's 4th level or higher, then I just have to make an ability using my spellcasting ability.
Essentially.
And it's DC 10 plus the spell's level, so we would just have to see. Or I also have the option of using a higher level spell slot to basically say that I can end a spell equal to or less than the level of the slot that I use.
well, yeah, it's more of just they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you guys have like some really powerful wizards in here, right?
Even if they couldn't do it, and then all we've done is spent 300 gold to add a new spell into my spellbook that will probably be useful later on.
And he also points out, yet he hasn't. They haven't dispelled it yet. They are waiting for one of their own Institute wizards to come back who specializes in this kind of thing.
Fair
There's
enough.
people who specifically specialize into dispelling magic. Like that's just one thing.
That specific field of magic, I believe, is what he refers to.
Oh, I see.
Correct.
That
Not
makes a
that
bit more sense.
spell specifically. Just as an evocationist does not merely specialize in magic missile.
I understood some of that.
Yes. Well, for now, let us take our leave if you have nothing further, and we shall go find our friends.
The guard captain, once you get all decide to head out,
Is there any interesting books, actually? Just anything that catches my eye?
make a investigation check.
Oh, investigation.
Oh, Matt,
Yeah.
I'm bringing my
natural one.
master's booze and the cups with us.
Okay.
If you tell me what you're looking for, I might be able to help you.
Oh, I was just looking for anything that catches my eye that I would like to read.
Yeah, most of the. I was just gonna say that most of the books Blazenier are not labeled, just old leather-bound books, and not anything really jumping out at you or seems interesting with your one.
Yeah, if I knew what sorts of things you were looking for, I could pull some items.
Honestly, I was just wanting a good read. Something to just. I honestly don't know. I don't know what kind of books are in here. I don't know what I want.
I'll find him an interesting historical book.
Okay, you can do that with relative ease. You select one on. I don't. It doesn't really matter. It's a history book.
Sure.
You can find one on the history of the Twisted Spire and the Institute Arcanum as a whole.
Sure. Just make sure you take care of that.
Well, obviously, I'm not going to accidentally light my hands on fire while reading it. Although I have done that with other books in the past.
Okay. And with that, the guard captain waits for you both to leave, locks up once again. And then he does tell you that if you wish to examine it again, make an appointment. Because he is a busy man and isn't just going to come waltzing down here at whenever you feel like showing up.
Did we not have an appointment?
We did.
I thought we had an appointment. I thought that's weird.
But you are escorted back out from the Institute and into the city once again. You can all probably meet back up. It's been a relatively long day. You all probably had time to do a bit of shopping. I know there's a few things you wanted to get. Blazner wanted to get some Alchemist Fire, which can very easily do so. I already told you what the price was for that. Willow wanted to buy some, I believe, some armor and some poison. Ichabod, you had a few things you wanted to get as well.
Oh yeah.
You wanted some holy water. You could have gotten that at the Church of the Five for 25 gold pieces per vial, so that's 200 for the 8. Searching throughout town, you could have found a forgery kit, which is 15 gold, and explorer's pack, which is 10 gold. With your connections to the Church of the Five, you could go to the Temple of the Father and purchase a scroll of Fine Steed directly.
Okay, cool.
How
much was that?
300 gold for the Fine Steed spell. Or scroll.
Okay. And then I also wanted to ask you about, so with Fine Steed, it's like it's just around until it dies. So I imagine I already have him. Like right now, at least.
Okay, is that what you're saying your steed currently is?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that he's currently summoned. So if I needed him today, I don't imagine I need to prepare that spell and like cast it today.
So this is to. So since what you're saying is you already have him, this is the scroll that you're buying is to call him back in case he ever dies.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just wanted to establish that he's around right now.
yeah, you're a level 8
Tied up at the
paladin. Yeah, you're a level 8 paladin. You've been traveling a long time. You could have easily gotten those. They're not difficult to find. Now you also said you wanted to look into buying wagons and circus equipment. Wagons themselves cost 35 gold each.
So does Edmund have money for us? Because I imagine that would come out of the
Whip out that credit card.
Yeah, for the mission.
He does have mission funds, and probably the next day he would get back together with you all if you're wanting him to purchase all that sort of equipment. So
if everybody else, I assume everybody else probably has horses.
Yeah, everyone who went to Green Ridge purchased a horse from them.
Okay.
So
I'm
everyone,
assuming mine is like a miniature pony or something.
Probably.
So that I can actually ride it.
You do need 2 horses to pull a wagon, just so you know. But between all of you, you have 4 regular-sized horses, or actually 3 regular-sized horses, 1 pony for rabbit folk, and 1 war horse.
1 celestial war horse.
Yeah, 1 celestial war horse.
I can also become a horse for $8. So.
All right.
Yeah. So depending on how many wagons you're wanting to get, it's really up to you how many extra horses you need. But you guys can think about that between now and next session, and we'll make you can make a decision how your caravan's going to look. Depending on what size tent you want, it would probably cost anywhere between 50 and 200 gold pieces. And so you also should think about like how many tents you want. Do you just want one big one? Do you want multiples? Things of that nature for your circus.
Okay. And then I also imagine next time we can kind of plan about the mercenary hiring.
Yeah, absolutely.
With Edmund as well.
Yeah, he has a small stipend of money that the king has given him to invest in this mission. So Edmund is willing to pay for the general supplies and things that the group is going to need for this. He has basically $3,000 to spend on this right now.
Sweet.
You say stipend, I say the king gave his kid an allowance.
It's not the king's kid, though.
No, I mean, kid as in, like, underneath him, you know, one of his higher-up subjects.
The young lord.
Now, and you all did mention spell components, as I said. You can find most material components in Northimia at cost, other than like exotic things like diamonds and jeweled chalices and things of that nature. You can just mark down however many you're purchasing on your sheet, and then you subtract those whenever you cast the spell you're looking for. But if this component does not have a cost, I'll remind you, we just assume you find it on your own. If, like, you guys have been traveling for a month with no available area to refill, then that's when we talk about your spell components and how much you're able to do. But for the most part, as long as you're traveling between cities and you're in a civilized area, if it doesn't have a cost, you don't need to worry about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, while all of you are out shopping, you started hearing talk about a fighting tournament being held in the Erudite Conclave. Most of the talk is things like, oh wow, the Conclave is holding a fighting tournament, and it's been a few years since the Conclave has opened its doors to the public. Things of that nature. Now, asking around, you can determine that this tournament will be held tomorrow evening at the Erudite Conclave, and that the prize is something that has got the Conclave's monk order positively buzzing.
What is it?
I perk up my ear hole.
Ear holes. That is quite unsettling.
Yes, yes.
Well, I've never seen you do that before. Please don't do that again.
What's this prize that monks are clamoring over?
Most of the general population isn't quite sure. You do hear some rumors. They're talking about possibly a magical item, something of that nature. The Erudite Conclave is well known as they're lore masters. They're basically a glorified group of archaeologists that also practice magic and fighting. But they also have a very official capacity in the continent of Loroupa. They're also used as arbiters and peacemakers, and they're the ones who record all of the histories of all of the kingdoms. So they're a very well respected and established group. Some people are saying that the prize is admittance to the conclave, while others are saying it's probably a magical item or something of that nature. Some people even think that you get to learn from the monks themselves if you pass their little test. So there's a lot of rumors going on about what it could possibly be.
Can I determine if this is a primarily fisticuffs tournament, or is it going to be a bit more like spellcasting
I
stuff?
too am interested on the rules of this tournament.
Well, you can always just go to the conclave themselves and find out about it.
I think it's worth investigating. I think it's important to stay limber, and a little bit of practice would do us good.
I definitely would like to check out this tournament.
I will say, if it is fisticuffs, then I might join. Actually, wait.
I might still give it a go. I think you never know if you're gonna do well until you try and you fail.
Okay. Yeah, I just had an idea put into me.
All right.
I now really want to join this thing.
I turn to Willow and I say, Miss, you look like something of a fighter yourself.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm as sweet as pie.
Now that may be true, but the two are not mutually exclusive, I've learned.
That is true. Too much cinnamon is a poison.
So, you think you're interested in giving it a go?
I might see what the competition looks like.
I think you're looking at it.
Yeah, if
It's a
everyone wants to join.
competition, not a pushover.
Ho ho ho!
Goodbye.
You would never hit a girl, would you?
I guess you can read me like a book. It's not normally in my nature, but I also wouldn't hold back if you requested that of me.
Is this a female hitting us back? Like, is she putting crossbow arrows into us? Because
Yeah, when
there
it
is-
comes down to it, I got a mission to accomplish, and while I do respect women and prefer not to put my hands on a lady, if it is necessary,
So you saying
or
you
in
would
good jest.
Okay. Well, you can make your way over to the Conclave and ask them directly. And what you find out is, yeah, the Conclave, they do have a force of monks that train with them, and most of the Conclave members are fighters of some type or another. The tournament is open to anyone who wishes to pay the fee, and spectators are also allowed to come in and watch and purchase tickets to come in. The fee for fighting is 200 gold pieces. The tickets to watch are just 15.
So
Now-
does that mean you can use weapons?
Yeah, I was trying
Or
to
is
get
it
to that.
basically-
I was trying to get
Okay.
to that.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. So to answer your question, yes, you can use weapons in this tournament. They do allow the use of weapons and even magical weapons. Magic itself, however, is forbidden. It is more of a test of skill and that nature, and not a test of magical power.
A question: what if it's an innate ability that I've learned throughout my class? Like, it's more not necessarily magic, but it's more of like I can do it.
Just what is it?
Can I wild shape in this competition?
No,
I
you cannot
suggested
wild
that
shape.
he
That's
should
magic.
Turn into a giant gorilla and punch folks if it was an unarmed competition.
I mean, so when you mention that, the monk kind of thinks to himself and says, "It would be kind of funny to see someone turn into an ape and try to fight back."
Right?
Now, sir,
That
don't
sort of thing.
compromise your morals.
That sort of thing could possibly be allowed, but magic itself, the creation or evocation of any type of magical spell, is strictly forbidden.
So I have a question for the DM. Would channel divinity count in this?
Probably.
That's like a guided strike. When you make an attack roll, you use this feature to gain a +10.
No, that doesn't. It's as long as it's not like an outward explosion of
Okay.
magic.
Yeah,
It
'cause this is like I can make people try not to be frightened of me, or I can get a +10 to my attack roll.
I'll high five Blaze near.
There is also another question. How many fights do you think I'd be in a day? 'Cause
Well,
Blaze near.
so there are 3 stages to the tournament. The first one is a one-on-one fight against another opponent. Those who win this first stage are allowed to go to the next stage, and in the next stage, those who have succeeded and have moved to this stage can create a group of up to 4 individuals who can fight together against 4 other individuals. Now, the winner of that must choose one from among them to fight a one-on-one battle against a senior member of the Conclave monks.
Interesting.
okay. And can I substitute wild shape with Primorph
No,
on myself?
No, that's a spell.
Well,
That's a
yes,
spell.
But, I'm now learning that wild shape is only a challenge rating of 1.
So the answer is no. You could not use polymorph to change yourself. That is a spell.
I have one final question.
Then I'm gonna find a animal that I can turn into a broad shape.
At least you have your scimitar, if it comes to that.
One final question.
Yes.
I imagine no steeds allowed.
He just gives you a very odd look.
Well, I mean, it'd be a fight if y'all both were on a horse with javelins, right? That's martial. All right, forget I asked.
Like,
Pay no mind.
yeah, I'm trying to think of the best expression to give you for this. He just has this open mouth expression
No, I
of
just wave at him. Pay
you
no
want
mind.
to you
Pay
want
no
to
mind.
bring a horse into the
A horse fight with his hooves is a martial weapon.
Talk about bringing a horse to the crossbow fight.
All right. I mean, I'm fine. I'm happy to fight all on my own.
Let me tell you,
Just for
I
my
would
own clarification, though, key powers are not magic, right?
No, they're
for-
not.
No,
magic.
that's being a monk.
I would certainly pay
Just
to watch
making sure.
two horses
I-
stand up on their hind legs and attempt to hoof each other.
and I'm sure you
I'll
can
tell you,
find
that sounds
somewhere
good
out the
every time.
city for that.
I throw down 200 gold pieces. I'm
Man.
in.
Ichabod's balling over here.
Ichabod Rush is in.
I put in my 200.
I'm ready to test my strength. This is like what I look for.
I will also put the 200 in.
I'll put down 15 for a ticket.
Okay.
I guess I will have to join. Little old me might have to see what I'm capable of.
I've seen you attack a giant frog demon. You're not. We don't, none of us think you're weak.
Yeah, you ain't fooling nobody with that sweet trick.
I'm gonna elbow him as soon as he says take on a frog demon.
Oh, now y'all
You elbowed my shin. Ow.
now you did not ask about the prize, but
No. I am not concerned with the prize. I am only concerned with myself betterment.
what's that?
Is it too late to ask about the prize?
No.
I mean, I'm entering anyway, but you know.
I
by the way,
was-
what's the prize?
I was trying to segue to that. Okay, so winning the final challenge will earn the fighter a conclave belt, which is a symbol of those who are strong enough to consider themselves members of the erudite conclave. That doesn't make you a member, but it gives you access if you are interested in that sort of thing. It also grants you a training session with Master Ohm, the presiding master monk of the erudite conclave.
Can you delete Fantine?
I see a ghost.
Be gone, Fantine.
Oh, there's Fantine. Why was she
She
there?
appears from the ethereal plane.
Yep.
Oh, no, I can't see. I'm blind.
Now you can see.
I still can't. There we go. Perfect. How exciting.
There we go. So anyway, yeah. So if all of you pay your fees and get yourselves buy a ticket for Cameron, you are allowed to enter the erudite conclave and head down to the tournament.
Wait, you said it was tomorrow.
Oh wait a minute, it is. Yeah, I did say it was tomorrow. That's right.
Just skip to tomorrow.
We can if you want to.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
There was nothing else that we wanted to do.
The one thing that I did want to do is in the evening I was gonna pull out that sweet ass bottle of whiskey and basically tell Ichabod, as you are joining our little venture, I thought it best to signify that with a small token from us, and I'll pour a little bit from the bottle and offer it to you.
Well,
Considering how old my master is, it's probably like the best of the best.
It's a pretty damn choice.
My small friend, though we may be different, you do know the way to a man's heart. And I take it and throw it back. No, I sip it.
I'll toast with you.
All right. I toast to new relationships.
Indeed.
I toast them.
That's all I wanted to do in between now and then, so we can.
Yeah, that's totally
Ichabod's,
fine.
Ichabod's feeling good for the whole rest of the day and the whole next day too.
Absolutely.
Real quick before we get in, I'm guessing poison on the weapons is not allowed.
No, it is not
Kill
allowed.
people.
I'm guessing assassinating people in their bed the night before the tournament is not allowed.
I mean, the tournament hadn't started at that point, so that's all fair.
Called a murder.
It's legal for the tournament purposes.
I'm gonna say probably not.
That's good. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. I agree. Well, you all do arrive the following evening at the Conclave to find a building that's familiar to at least a few of you. The building itself is rectangular, 10 stories tall, and made out of a tan stone very similar to the robes all the researchers wear. The tournament is open, as I said, to anyone who pays the fee, and spectators are there as well. So you are all led into the entrance of the conclave once you identify yourselves and show your tickets. And you go through several heavily guarded passageways, down a flight of stairs, to a very large fighting pit that surrounded by benches. The center of this large and open space sits a pit of sand, where you can already see a pair of warriors trading blows amid the cheers of the crowd. Toward the back of the area, you can see a full bar, manned by a bartender serving drinks, and an alcove full of training dummies and another smaller Spartan pit. None of you have ever been in this section of the conclave before, and I doubt any of you were expecting to see a setup like this. Once you head down, you are approached by a bald young human in tan robes trimmed with green. And he inquires which of you will be fighting in the tournament and which will be watching.
I just raise an eyebrow at him and hand him my ticket. Spectating. It's like birthday.
Yeah, and he takes it and kind of chuckles to himself as he takes it and points his arm towards the bar and says, I'm sure if you could get a drink and enjoy yourself.
Thank you, I surely will.
A quick question, because I wasn't paying attention. Did we get a rest at all?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Change up your spells if you like.
Don't need to
Except you can't use them.
Yeah, it's more of the wild shape.
Yeah.
Use it.
I do believe the rest of us have chosen to accept your challenge.
Real quick, Matt, I want to de-age myself with being my changeling form to appear to be a 14-year-old girl.
You do? Okay.
Who's
Okay.
gonna hit a child?
What's that?
No one's gonna hit a child,
Sure they will. You entered a fighting competition.
but they're gonna feel bad about it.
They're gonna underestimate you for sure. Weren't you older yesterday?
Who's been this age?
I feel very uncomfortable.
It is a little weird, that's for sure. But for those of you who are fighting, the monk escorts you all over to one side of the fighting pit as he reminds you all how the tournament works. As I said, the first battle is just going to be one-on-one. And actually, I kind of set up a bit of a... it's actually going to be a skill challenge for the first part of this tournament.
Whoa.
Because I thought that'd be a lot more fun than just doing one-on-one battles for a few hours, which they can take a while. So we're going to start this off by all of you who are fighting are going to be doing a skill challenge to get past the first round. So the match is 5 rounds. Contestants get to choose either strength athletics or dexterity acrobatics as their fighting style. They roll against your opponent, and the winner wins the round. A critical hit or a win of more than 5 points is a possible knockout, and the loser has to make a con roll to avoid being rendered unconscious. In between rounds, players can choose to make an intimidation check or a sleight of hand roll to gain an advantage on the next round. Or you could even perhaps do a performance check to try to get the crowd on your side and boost confidence. That make sense?
All right, so this is like a wrestling match.
A little bit. It is going to be against various opponents. Some of whom are wielding weapons, others of whom are not. But they're all fighters of various types and members of the Conclave. Now, a knockout wins automatically. Otherwise, it's best 3 out of 5 rounds. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not going to be fighting, but I will be available if they allow me to blaze near in between rounds. Use prestidigitation to get off the blood and all that sort.
Yeah, why not? You
You
can.
got this, Philip.
You got this, Rock. You gotta stick and move.
I like it. Okay, so we're going to start off by having each one of you, we're probably going to do this one-on-one to make this a little
All
bit
right.
easier. 1 second here. Okay, so who's going to go first? Let's go ahead and roll for it to see who goes first. So all 4 of you, roll me a d20.
18.
14.
11.
Okay, so that's going to be our order here. I should have actually had y'all roll initiative or something like that. That would have been smart.
Still could.
Nah, we're going to do it like this.
That way it can go up on that turn tracker there.
Real quick, Matt, is Danny DeVito in the stands right there?
Danny DeVito.
Yes, Danny DeVito is in the stands right there.
I'm saying that looks like Danny DeVito with glasses.
Did y'all
Yeah,
see
yeah,
Danny
Mr. T over here.
Danny DeVito was here.
I did. I hope I impress him.
I'm hoping we can.
Yeah, Mr.
have
T,
a couple
Danny
words
DeVito.
with him.
What other famous people are in the crowd?
Hopefully Arnold Schwarzenegger. I grew up on some twins. If you've ever seen that movie.
This girl needs to get in the sun a little bit more.
What? Talking about yourself now?
Okay, so it looks like Novo is the first to step up to this challenge.
Who's Novo?
Sorry, why does it still say Novo? It's Shokan. It's irritating.
Just call Comrade Turtle. It's easier.
There we go, now it's fixed.
Total.
So Shokan, as I said, there's going to be 5 rounds. So you need to choose to do either an athletics or a acrobatics check against theirs, and whoever wins the first round. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm gonna go athletics. We're 26. That.
Well, that definitely beat out her 16. So you face off against this conclave monk wearing a brown training gi trimmed with green, and the two of you start facing off. Your first round, you're just dominating this individual. You're tucking and weaving, moving about as Cameron had been suggesting to Blazenier earlier, and just easily dominate for that first round. So that is 1 success. Go ahead and now in the middle of each round, as I said. Actually, hold on. If a win by 5 points or more, a possible knockout. So yeah, she rolled a 16, so that is definitely a possibility of a knockout right there and then. So they have to make a con saving throw to avoid being knocked out. The DC is going to be. Let's see. Yeah, it's gonna be a DC of 15. So let's see how she does. Ooh, that's an 11. Wow.
Yeah. You come in the round and punch her in the head. She gets knocked out.
Yeah. Yeah. So in one round, Shokan very easily dominates this conclave monk, knocks her out cold, and just sends her out of the ring within a shower of sand. The entire crowd just erupts in cheers and yells as Shokan defeats this opponent.
Shokan smash!
Brown.
Yeah, so that's it for that first one there. Okay. Ichabod.
Hard, a tough act to follow.
Yeah, it is. So Ichabod, you're up next. You can use, like I said, either athletics or acrobatics for this battle.
I believe I will use athletics.
Like it. Ooh.
Big hurt.
They rolled a 20. Ichabod, you rolled a 12.
Mm-hmm.
So that is definitely a win by more than 5 points. So Ichabod, I need you to make me a con saving throw.
I can't see the map of math.
Ridiculous. All right.
Wow.
It's rough. It's rough out here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have anything that I could do. Could I? No. Because there's not really something I could use in this, like action surge or anything like.
Yeah, I'm willing to, if you have an idea of what you could do for this, but that seems like a pretty clear victory right there.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's that. I mean, I don't have anything that would specifically apply to a con save, so
yeah.
unless it's just the way that this is it's just a check. So there you go.
So just a check. So in that first round, yeah, that monk just dominates over you, Ichabod. You're expecting, your standard soldier against soldier type of fight. As a paladin, you're used to more knights and armor, and this guy just comes out in nothing but a robe and weaves around you in such a way that
Close fighting.
yeah, you're caught completely off guard and you are knocked out easily. In that, or not really easily, because it wasn't that large of a gap there, but still it was enough.
It wasn't like mine.
No, it was not like yours.
I mean, it was exactly the same, but okay.
No, it was actually that was a bit closer.
Maybe you could hide your wounded pride by saying that they sucker punched you or something.
They probably did sucker punch me. It's a legal move, but I can't make a whip attack or nothing. So.
So that's it for Ichabod's round. He was knocked out cleanly by these conclave monks. Blazenir, you're up next.
All right, I'm going in as Blazenir.
Going in as Blazenir.
If not wild shaping.
Okay. And for this, like I said, it's either an athletics or an acrobatics check.
All right.
Too bad none of your magic items will help.
Oh god.
Whew. So in the round one, the monk seems to be dominating Blazenir. She gets in. Why do I keep calling her she? I don't know. I think it's just because the token is female that I just have associated with it. That's why I keep saying she. But anyway, yeah, let's say this one's a she. And they're fighting hand over hand, him using his scimitar, she's using her fists and a quarterstaff, and they're trading blows. They're doing a decent job. This is a round in her favor, but an 18 to a 22, not enough to be a possible knockout. So that's it for round one of this fight. Now, in between rounds, like I said, you can either try to intimidate or try to gain advantage of somehow, or perhaps get the crowd riled up. So,
Willow.
Well, Willow's next. Willow comes after that, but we're doing these in order of.
Okay, never mind, because I only got one round, so I
Yeah, you kicked the crap out of that first one.
Oh yeah. If he's got any blood or anything on him, I'll clean him up and make his clothes nice again.
I'm gonna try to rile up the crowd.
Okay, I like it. Give me a performance check.
26.
Oh yeah, definitely. You as you're after Cameron cleans you up with his prestidigitation, you get up and just make this boisterous claim. What are you saying to get the crowd riled up?
Good question.
The way
Blazing is charismatic, but I am not.
You don't have to give a speech. Just give me an example of what you're doing.
That's also a problem.
How about you roar like an animal?
Yeah, sure, I'll roar like an animal, and I'll turn into a bear, as I do.
Okay, and
Screw it.
you transform into a big old bear, and you start shaking your arms and roaring, and the crowd just loves it. They're absolutely into it. They're excited and calling out, cheering you on. It's time to make this next battle. You do get advantage on this roll, Blazner.
Alright, and this time it's athletics, because I'm a bear.
I like it.
Get a +4. That's a natural 20.
Whoo! Look at that. So with a nat 20 to their 13, yes, this is definitely a critical hit. So she needs to make a con roll to avoid being knocked out. And that's a 12, which is a failure. So in the second round, Blazner just twists around and smacks this monk on the back of the head with his gigantic bear claw, knocking her into the dirt or into the sand, and is unconscious. That is a clear win for Blazner. Well done.
I'll turn back into Blazner and just dust off my trench coat.
It's like you're better at the bare-handed fighting.
And as Blazner goes walking off, humming bare necessities to himself, we come to Willow. Willow, it's your turn. You ready for this?
I guess I can.
So Willow, in her tiny little dress, making herself looking like she's 14 years old, this tiny, innocent-looking blonde thing. It's either an acrobatics or an athletics check. What you got?
I'll do athletics.
Okay, well, they rolled a 12. Whew. Why'd you roll it at disadvantage?
That's just what it came up as.
Yeah, it should be rolled. Huh. Oh, is it
Okay,
because...
I got it up now. It was selected on disadvantage up there on top for some reason.
Okay. But still, it is a 9, so for the first round, you do... it is a loss for you. They seem to be able to block all of your swings with whatever... What weapon are you using, anyway?
Syringe.
So with your tiny needle-like rapier, you're stabbing at this monk. It's twisting around you, hits you in the back of the head, knocks you back a little bit. This is a loss for you. So we are between rounds now. Do you want to try to, intimidate them, or you want to rile up the crowd? What are you wanting to do in the intermission?
I'm gonna just start waving at the crowd.
You're going to just start waving at them?
Just wave.
Do the princess wave.
Yeah, basically. Just,
One of those
I'm a
child
cute little
beauty
kid.
pageants.
Okay, go ahead and make a performance check.
The crowd just looks at you. They're like, "Huh? What?"
I like 9s today.
I thought
Yeah.
you would prefer a fight.
Yeah, with the 9s, everyone's just like, there's a ton of murmuring and questioning in the crowd right now. Like, why is this little kid up on stage that's just getting smacked around by this monk? And she's just waving, and it's eerie and weird.
They allow the beating of children in this town, apparently.
Apparently.
Fighting ring.
Child fighting ring indeed. So, it is the next round. Go ahead and make your athletics check or acrobatics check. You do not have any advantage or anything.
It's 16.
Well, that's definitely better than the 7 that I rolled for them. That's a crit failure.
Miss too.
So I'm gonna definitely make them roll this Constitution saving throw. Ooh, but that's an 18. So he does succeed and manage to. While you did win that round, and you knocked him around pretty good, you did not knock him out completely. So that's 1 win and 1 loss to you, Willow. It is between rounds now. You going to try to do anything to help you out on the next battle?
Yeah, I'm trying. Let me look at the crowd. Trying to find someone there. I'll. Is there any trying to.
Well, I remind
What
you.
I could do.
You can try to
I'm gonna
intimidate. You can try to intimidate
I'm
your
gonna do
opponent.
intimidation
Okay.
by just skipping around, being a happy little creepy kid.
Okay, I like it. To the utter amazement of everybody, little Willow and her 14-year-old child guys just start skipping around the sand ring. La 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 la, and it's bizarre. God, that's odd.
Gonna kill you.
Go ahead and make your intimidation check. Oh yeah, that definitely put him off with a 22. Your opponent, he's a half-orc. Big, beefy, burly guy. And he's just looking at this odd little girl skipping around the circle around him. And it's put him off. He's definitely feeling weirded out by this. So he's going to make his next roll at disadvantage. So you're going to go ahead and make your straight roll as athletics or acrobatics. And they are going to be rolling at disadvantage. Oof. So what'd you get? Don't forget to call out your rolls.
Oh, 13.
Okay. With the 16 that the monk rolled, yeah, that's another success. Unfortunately. So, let's see.
He wins. About a 3 or something?
It's a 3 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
So that's 2 wins to the monk and 1 win to Willow. You now are at your intermission again. Do you want to try to do anything to give you advantage?
What are they doing?
I'm gonna stab my sword in the sand pit. I'm gonna fix my pigtails, and I'm gonna wipe the blood off my lips. I'm sure I'm bleeding, and I'm just gonna lick it.
Okay, I like it. Go ahead and make your intimidation check. And Cameron, what they're resting. They're talking to their trainer
23.
during the intermission for the most part. 23, yeah. Like, you just standing there, blood trickling down your chin and across your lip, and you just wipe your hand and lick it. Dead-eye staring this monk. And yeah, he is definitely intimidated and kind of freaking out a little bit about this. So go ahead and make your athletics check again. He still has disadvantage on this next round because of your intimidation.
15.
Oh, 11. Very nice. So that's a second win for you. We're right now up 2-2. This last round is going to seal the deal on this battle. So in the between time, as you're both sitting there resting, waiting for the next round, what are you doing, Willow?
I'm gonna say to him directly, "How's it feel to get beat by a little girl?"
I like it. Go ahead and roll your
Just
intimidation.
smiling, just ear to ear. Just so happy. Oh shit, 9. I got a crit
Ooh.
fail.
Oh, that's upsetting. Yeah, with that 15, that's it. You.
Oh, that was my intimidation. I didn't actually roll.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, that was your intimidation. My bad. Yeah, I'm gonna say that
You
is
did
a
much better.
failure.
Probably not got disadvantage this round.
It did not have disadvantage. It was just a straight roll, which was a 15. Was the first one.
Which I had an 8, so he still beat me.
He did still beat you, and with you intimidating him, taunting him by saying that it's just a child that beat you. Oh, that just went too far, and this guy goes full ballistic on you, just punches and flurries of kicks, and you were just tossed out of the ring, beaten and bloody.
Oh god, like Matilda when she grabs the kid by the pigtails.
Kinda,
Hammer throw.
a little bit, yeah.
Well,
Unfortunately, that's it for you, Willow.
I would like to do something if it's okay.
Go for it.
I want to start crying and try to make him feel bad, like he just beat up a little kid and it's all his fault.
now this is just getting hard to watch.
Oh, this is getting hard to watch.
Like,
Go
I
ahead.
want the crowd to turn on him for beating me.
Go ahead and make a performance check.
I was actually going to ask, could I do deception instead?
Yes, absolutely.
23.
Oh, with a 23, the crowd is just booing. Boo. Seeing this poor little kid just get the crap kicked out of her. And the monk is just like, he's having one of those expressions of, what? She got in the ring. She was, what should I do? And like, even his master's coming over and kind of talking to him and leading him out of the ring. And everyone's booing. And somebody comes over and picks you up at Willow and begins casting cure wounds on you. You see a couple people in long flowing robes standing over you. They're apparently clerics, and they're casting cure wounds to heal you up again, and just making those soft little supportive mutters. Oh, that was so horrible. Why would you even get in the ring? I can't believe they let a child in here. Blah blah blah. Things like that.
I just shake my head at all of this.
Blazenier's incredible right now.
I want my daddy!
Wow. But that's it for Willow, who has lost. So, what it looks like is we have two of our team members made it to the next round, Shokan and Blazenier, and two did
Real
not.
quick, Matt.
Yes.
I have a question, and feel free to say that if it wouldn't work, I'll just do it. If it would work, I would do it next time. But could I have done second wind for this, and actually got another try?
Just heals hit points.
Yeah, that just heals hit points. That really wouldn't have.
Oh, well, I didn't know if it would be considered like, I would get, just something for it since it's a fist fight. I wouldn't want to do it right now, but just like if we ever did this again.
Like, honestly, I don't see a reason why that would give you an extra roll on this. If you had inspiration or something like that, I would have said sure, but...
Action surge?
Yeah, action surge is
why
the same.
I tried to be like, I don't know, because it's like technically we're fighting, but we're doing it just in a check, so there's none of our things apply.
Well, that's sort of the point of this, because
Yeah.
we could sit here and do multiple battles and spend like an entire 3-hour session just doing battle after battle if we wanted to. But this was a way to kind of cut down on time a little bit and do a fun tournament, but still like not have the entire thing as one PvP. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's why I was just curious. Like, I wouldn't want to have done it this time if it would work. Just next time.
No, I would have
Everyone
allowed.
hates the orc.
I would have allowed inspiration to re-roll for things like that, but special abilities wouldn't have really given you any help for that. It's just a skill challenge. That's all it was. But the first round is over, and Shokan and Blazenier did succeed So now this part is, as I said, going to be a PvP style battle. Okay? It's going to be Shokan and Blazenier against 2 members of the Conclave.
Shokan, I wanted to ask you something. How am I up with you? Like, I felt like, one of those other people who specifically spec into these type of things would have, but no, it's me, a spellcaster.
Because you're stuck in both, like I told you, kid.
I too am confused by this turn of events, but
I feel like you should not be here at all. I'm not gonna lie.
we'll just stay with me. We'll get through this.
Well, I was gonna turn into a bear.
Oh, okay. Well, that works.
Yeah, that seemed to work the last time.
Anyway. For some reason that's not working. I don't know why. Oh, that's why. There we go. Anyway, so for the first part of the battle is now complete, the one-on-one tournament. Next, the 2 of you are invited back into the ring to face off against 2 of the Conclave monks. So I'm going to need the 2 of you to roll for initiative. Ooh, okay.
DM, could I have access to the brown bear? Stat sheet, whatever.
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Okay, you should have access to it now.
I don't know if I...
No?
No. I don't even have access to the token.
Okay, let me try something else. I have to reload. Sorry about that.
You're fine. Sorry for being a druid.
Bear's near.
How about now?
I do have access to the bear. I just need to oh, never mind. I wasn't looking. Yes.
Okay, good to go? Okay, so Blazenier steps out in front, assuming the form of a bear, as Shokan steps out with him. The 2 of you face off against 2 members of the Conclave, both humanoids in simple training gis of brown trimmed with green. While this is going on, Ichabod, Willow, and Cameron, since the 3 of you aren't fighting in this but participating, you can at the beginning of each round cheer them on, or if you can think of other ways you can assist in this time and can reasonably do it, feel free. Just at the beginning of each round, speak up if you want to do anything to assist in any way. You know what I mean? Or tried to, anyway.
I
But-
don't believe in assistant. This is a test of their strength.
What are you, Colin?
Question.
Yes.
Are they going against that orc that defeated me?
No, these are two different members of the conclave.
I'm gonna start yelling, "Girl power!"
Girl power indeed. But,
Blaznier doesn't get advantage.
but,
Neither does Shokan because nobody realizes it's actually female because they don't know what the hell a female torch looks like.
one of the conclave monks is up first. And, let's see. Yeah, they're gonna come at you one-on-one for this. So, the first one is coming straight at you, Blaznier, in your bear form. And she's just smiling at you. 1 second. Hold on. Have to restart again. I apologize for this, folks. Roll20 doesn't like me today.
So I'm gonna go walk back up next to Ichabod, and I'm gonna be as my normal self. Well, that fight didn't turn out the way I thought it would.
Yeah, it was hard on us fighter types. But nonetheless, at least we're free to spectate.
And
Indeed.
as long as that orc doesn't win, that's all that matters to me.
I realized that earlier I forgot to talk to the priest about something important that I was thinking about, so I'm hoping I can catch the nighttime mass.
Okay.
Talk to them about something important, like seeing a 14-year-old girl in a fighting ring.
Not quite that.
Okay, so we are starting out at the top of the order with the conclave monk, who is currently running up towards the brown bear and is, let's see, what is it gonna do? Yeah, it's gonna go ahead and running towards you, it jumps, twists around, and kicks at your head, Blaznier, in your bear form. So this is an unarmed strike.
Yeah.
That
Either
was-
way, it's
Yeah, not supposed to be a disadvantage, but that does hit for 5
Yes.
points of damage.
I cast summon SPCA.
SPCA. Ah,
You are assaulting a bear. We are
Yeah.
here to arrest you.
okay. Second strike is also a 22
yeah.
for 5 more points of damage. This guy is just kind of wailing on you a little bit. And I'm going to need you to go ahead and make a con saving throw for me.
Oh, well, dude, this is 20.
20. You are able to fight this off as you feel that second punch. The first was a kick. The second was a punch that came straight down in your head. You feel like as though it were trying to hit a nerve in your body the way it was twisting, but you push back and fight and manage to resist it.
I make an angry bear noise.
Indeed you do. That's gonna be it for her turn. I'm gonna call that one a female. So Blaznier, you're up next. What do you do?
Alright, I'm a bear. I bite and claw. I get multi attacks, so I'll take a bite at her. For a 16.
That just hits.
That's 5 piercing, and a claw attack, which is a 15.
15 does not. You manage to grab onto her and bite her, but when you follow that up with those claws, she manages to jump back out of the way and just barely miss.
Roar.
Rar indeed. Okay, Shokan, you're up next. What are you doing?
Okay, I'm gonna go up to this one. And attack with my quarterstaff. I'm gonna do two-handed quarterstaff.
Okay.
For 24, I don't know why it automatically rolled.
It roll 20 probably arbitrarily decided to set it for you. It does that occasionally.
Yeah, it did that last time too. And
But yes, a 24 does hit.
okay. And then I'm gonna attack again for a nat 20
Whoo!
for an additional, looks like 11 damage.
Yep, that's another 11 points of damage. So 25 points of damage total on this monk. That is a big first hit.
Is it still up?
Oh yeah, it's still up.
Okay, then I'm flurry of blow and I'm gonna do flurry of blows.
Flurry of blows, go for it.
21
Hits.
and 11 does not. 21 is 9.
9 more points of damage. Very nice. 3 strikes into this monk, and she's looking pretty damn hurt. But not that hurt. Okay. That's it for your turn. Next up, it's her turn.
When are we supposed to do stuff to try and help them?
At the end of this, she's the last person. So when we come to the top of the order, that's when you're able to do stuff if you want to. She, let's see here. Yeah, she's gonna go ahead, pulls out her quarterstaff, and is taking swing at you, Shokan. First one is a 13, so it smashes against your shell and misses entirely.
Okay, that one hits.
That's a nat 20. Yeah, it hits. 14 points of damage, and I'm going to need you to make a con saving throw, please. Whew, yeah. You just barely managed to save against what you recognize to be a nerve punch hit into you with that first strike. She's following that up with a let's see, yeah, bonus action, Flurry of Blows. Another key point gone. That's a 7, so that's a miss. And an 18.
Miss.
Whew, very nice. So 2 more, a punch and a kick from this monk in front of you, but not able to get past your defense. We're at the top of the order, so those of you spectating, if you want to cheer on your comrades or do anything else, now's the time.
Yeah, I want to give them fireworks with prestidigitation, because I can make a shower of sparks.
Okay, so you stand up and make a giant shower of sparks high overhead. What do they look like?
It depends. If I can only make them simple, then it'll just be like the colors that represent Blazenir and Shokan. If they can be more, intricate, then maybe like a bear being ridden by a turtle.
I'll say you can be a little intricate, not like a lot, but enough that you're sending out these sparks, and it kind of has a bit of the form of that. Go ahead and make a performance check.
Alright, is that regular or advantage?
No, it's just regular.
Okay.
Why would you have advantage?
Because I'm using a spell, because my charisma is -1, and therefore I rolled a 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're sending out these sparks, and they are very cool. And Shokan and Blazenir can both see this from where they're standing, and they feel your love, and they feel the support you're giving them. But that's really about it. Okay. Next is the Conclave Monk's turn. Let's see. Yeah, it's just using its fists and its feet, so it's pummeling at you, Blazeneer, with its fists. Ooh, that's a nat 20.
Yeah, that doesn't hit a bear. There's a little thing right here now.
Oh yeah? So 12 points
Yeah.
of damage. It just absolutely cleans your clock, hitting the side of your bear head as hard as it can, doing good amount of damage. It's
Forget
gonna
about your inspiration.
follow that up with another strike, but that's an 11.
That hits.
That does hit. Okay.
That's my armor class.
Whew. 9 more points of damage into you in your bear form. You still up?
Yeah, barely.
Barely.
If you'd have told me that, I would have given you mage armor.
Ba-bump. Okay, so it's going to go ahead. The monk is going to be using a key point to do flurry of blows. 2 more punches.
Please don't. No.
That was an 8, so that's a miss. It kicks out at you, and you just dodge backwards as a bear. But that's a
yes.
21.
Can you use your inspiration to do something about that?
I don't think so.
I think it just gives you advantage, right?
Well,
Oh, okay.
no, this was an actual inspiration from our Patreon member, Anesthetic. So you can use your point of inspiration on whatever you want to.
Oh.
You can re-roll yourself. You can force somebody else to re-roll.
I don't think it's worth it to make them reroll because my
Yeah.
armor class is so low.
That's fine. It is 7 more points of damage.
Yep, and now I'm blazing here. That
And
takes some
with-
damage as well.
With that last kick, the bear poofs out of existence, and Blazeneer is returned in his spot.
At least you're not down yet.
Well, looks like I'm gonna have to slice you up. I didn't want to have to do this. I'm sorry.
Well, it is your turn. So what are you doing?
Let's see. What do I want to do? I guess I'm taking legends as an action. Yes. Okay. So you cast a spell, so I'm just gonna. I'm guessing my staffs would also count as spells in this tournament.
If it's magic, yeah.
Alright. Then I'm going to take a slash with my blazing scimitar, which is a 17 in our wolf. That's
Yeah, a 17 does hit, so 9 points of damage.
Quick Willow, make her feel bad for beating up a bear.
You got anything else you can do on your turn, Blazeneer?
I don't think I have any bonus actions yet.
Okay.
And I'm not martial class, so.
Yep, that's it for Blazeneer. Shokan, you're up next. Your opponent's looking quite a bit more rough than the other one.
Okay, I'm gonna double-handed quarterstaff her again with 22.
That'll hit.
That's 11 damage. Another hit for 28.
Ouch.
Another 13 damage.
Yeah, so with that second quarterstaff strike, you just clean her clock, and she goes flying off her feet and lands down in the ground, unconscious.
Okay. And then can I step over here and flurry of blows this one?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Bear.
Unarmed. 14 on that one.
14 does not hit.
Okay, this next one I'm gonna spend another key point. And I'm going to use... Oh wait, not that one. Hand of Harm. For this one. And that misses.
Ooh, that's a miss. Yep, unfortunately that was not enough to cover it. That's it for Shokan's turn. Okay, we are actually at the top of the order, so if anyone in the audience wants to do anything, now you can.
Dibs, dibs.
Wait, should I have been an advantage since
No.
since we're flanking her?
Did we? I don't know that we ever.
I thought it was only +2.
I don't remember ever playing with flanking rules.
We've never actually
Other
used
than being
flanking.
a rogue.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
maybe I'm thinking of a different game then.
well, the PM game actually does have a flanking rule that they typically use, but you guys really haven't used that same one. And actually, theirs I've been planning on phasing out over time. Yeah, I'll let you roll one more time. Why not? I'll give you advantage on this one since Blazenier and you are flanking her.
So 26.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And is that my Hand of Harm one?
That was your hand to harm.
And that would be 16.
16 points of damage. Very nice.
Why is it that I'm suddenly imagining, and you're in this tournament to defeat your opponents but not kill them? I use Dimbach, the dead kind.
Now, it is the top of the order, so if anyone was wanting to do something, now is the time. What are you wanting to do, Willow?
We can all
I
do
want to
stuff.
yell, look at these two beating up on animals. They hate creatures and animals of all sorts. Look at that cute little turtle. Someone call PETA.
Go ahead and make a deception check.
21.
Yeah, little Willow in her more normal form is screaming out like a wounded Karen, bitching about the animal cruelty that's going on here at the Conclave. And at first, no one seems to notice, but then that odd clamor starts to build up around. That those questioning sentences. What's the Conclave doing here? What kind of thing are they holding? This doesn't seem right, and the crowd's turning against the Conclave a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna say that the monk who's caught between these two, she's not looking great, and she's realizing that yeah, she's losing the crowd. So I'm gonna say that her next attacks. Yeah, her next.
Beating up animals.
Yeah, I'm gonna say her next attack has disadvantage on it. She's spinning around and she's attacking you, Blazenier, trying to at least take out one of you. That's a 15 to hit.
Yeah, that barely hits.
That does hit. Okay. 6 points of damage as she just hauls off and cleans your clock, hitting your jaw. Second attack is going to be regular. Oh, that's a nat 20. She is furious right now. She's getting pissed off
With
by.
disadvantage?
Well, no,
Use that inspiration.
the first
Power you.
the first attack was at
Oh, so the
disadvantage.
first attack. Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Sorry about that.
Also, she's not really doing enough damage enough. I want it for something else. So
Oh, okay.
And that's fine. Well, 6 more points of damage to you, Blazenier, which she's going to follow up with a flurry of blows.
oh, you're doing that, huh?
So the 25 is going to hit. I'm sure the 9 does not. So 8 more points of damage on top of everything else.
Could you not? That my jaw really hurts. Honestly, I was going in as a bear. I'm not a bear anymore.
Yeah, that's a total of
Don't
20
worry.
points.
I got this one.
Well, you say that,
Grin and bear it.
but it is Blazenier's turn. So you just got punched multiple times by this monk. What are you going to do, Blazenier?
I'm gonna wipe some of the blood off my face. And I'm gonna see that my turtle friend already has defeated her opponent. And I'm gonna kind of run, just kind of think about something in my head. It's like, I'm really not much of a fighter anyway. And I'm gonna take out both my scimitars and start juggling to use the help action to distract her. So Shokan has advantage.
You know what? I like it. You pull out your scimitars and start juggling it in front of her, absolutely confusing this conclave monk. So yeah, Willow or Shokan, you do have advantage on your next attack due to the help action being done by Blazenier. So it is your turn. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's been working so far. That's a 29 to hit for the first.
Definitely hits.
That'd be 12 damage.
12 more points of damage.
Another hit would be 20. And that's another 13.
So 13 is exactly how many hit points this woman has. So, Shokan, tell me how this looks.
I mean, I'm hitting her with my quarterstaff, so I feel like swing and smack her probably at the legs with the first swing and turn around and follow up with the other side, probably like right in the back of the head.
And with that back of the head strike, she just goes flying down into the dirt, knocked unconscious, bleeding, wounded. And you stand victorious, the two of you. The
I
crowds.
just realized I should have been using brass knuckles and not my unarmed strike.
You know, the most difficult thing about this is that now one of them is kind of heated up and kind of hurts a bit.
Indeed. But with that, the crowds roar with cheers, celebrating your victory. Healers are brought in, and the unconscious monks are drug away and revived once again through healing. And the two of you stand victorious. And that is a great place to end things for tonight. Yep. We'll do our last battle first thing next session.
And do we get to rest before that?
Do you need some healing? I've got healing.
Well, it's not so much healing. It's like, I wouldn't mind at least
I want her
meditating
key
for a little bit.
Key points back.
Yes.
Oh,
That's what she's saying.
So,
I just have healing.
with that battle finished, one of the tournament organizers walks up to you and asks you that if you do want to take a rest and let the tournament go on for a little bit before you do your final bout. So you can take a short rest if you want to.
Yeah, I would like to.
Absolutely. So that's where we're going to end things for this evening. So thank you everybody for watching. We absolutely appreciate having you here in chat. Tune in next week when we find out whether or not Shokan and Blazner actually win the final battle of the tournament and get that magical belt that they've heard so much about. But on behalf of the Debauchery Circus, I just want to say thank you for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.